Arms lying by your side, palms down, feet and knees together. Take the feet out at the front and bring the heels around so your feet and your knees are in a hip width distance. And I want you to start by breathing in through the nose and into your rib cage. Surprises there, huh? And out through the mouth. So you just breathe in through the nose. And when you do that, start drawing those abdominals in while we're lying down. My favorite visual is definitely the hipster jeans. So when you take your breath in, you draw in from your toilet muscles as if you're drawing up the zip, which will finish about halfway up your abdominal, halfway between your navel and the top of your pelvic bone. And when you breathe out, hold that abdominal contraction. Now we're going to use those abs to start mobilizing through the hips. So we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and backwards. So breathe in, draw those abs in. Imagine you have a marble in the middle of your abdominals, and you're going to roll that marble using your abdominals down to your sternum, down to your 12 o'clock position on an imaginary clock face. And you're going to feel your back imprinting into the mat. Take a breath in there. Using those abs still, roll your marble to the top of your pelvis. So nice and gentle. Make those first few moves quite small and then build up and bigger. Build the tilt so they're bigger and bigger. Work with your breath. So no speedy forward or back tilts, just lovely and slow. Feel your back. Give a little more as you go into your forward tilt. And then feel it imprint a little bit more into the mat on your back tilt. And keep going. Now take your mind-body connection to your feet. They should be feeling lovely and light on the floor. You should be feeling your all your toes, but really make sure that your big toes in contact with the floor right through to your little toe. And start making that pelvic tilt smaller and smaller. Still use those abdominals until you come to a midway point where your hip bones are level with your pelvic bone and you feel lovely and even underneath your hips on the mat. Excuse me. Breathe in, draw the abs in on the out breath. We're going to go left to right. So we're not going around the clock face today, but certainly mobilizing, rolling that imaginary marble to the right hip and then over to the left. Just one side and then the other. And we'll do that till Madam O'Neill is in position and can join us for the next move. So those knees and feet hip width apart, mares. Keep those knees quite narrow, Mary. You do have a habit of thinking your hips are about the width of a National Express bus, and they really aren't. So keep them nice and hip width and roll our marbles back to the center of our clock face this morning, everyone. Breathe in, draw those abs in. Let's go back into the hips, but cheekily use those abs. We're going to lift our right leg up to 90 degrees, up into our clock face, up into our tabletop, with our shins lovely and parallel with the ceiling. I want you to imagine there is a pencil off the end of our knee, and we're starting to do some little circles on the ceiling with our knees. Now, I'd like you to start with the smallest of circles. See how well your abdominals are keeping your hips in a beautiful position. And then see if you can take that circle with your knee a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. You are mobilizing the top of the femur in the hip joint in that one direction. And then go the other way. Circle your knee back in the opposite direction, making sure you keep that circle as lovely and as precise and as even as you can. I want you to really feel your thigh bone heavy in your hip and really feel like you're stirring that bone in the joint. Lovely lubricating into that hip this morning. Take that foot to the floor. Make sure both feet are lovely and light. Take a gorgeous breath in, engage your abs, and we go again on the other excuse me, on the other side. Make sure before you start that your knee, take a little look in the screen, that your knee is directly above your hips, because that's where we'll feel that leg going into the hip. And then start your circle, and whichever direction is tickling your fancy this morning, just keep that circle lovely and even. Excuse me for a dry throat this morning. Who's that doing a lovely speedy circle? Let me have a take a peek. Diane, slow it down. Let's see if we can trigger that parasympathetic nervous system for you this morning. Slow your breath, work the knee with your breath, and we go in the opposite direction. Just look. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go a little bit faster, right? But it shows me a little bit what sort of mental position you're in this morning. And we want to build our mind-body connection. Couple more circles, stirring that top of the hip bone in the thigh, in the hip even, top of the thigh bone in the hip. I will get it right in a minute. And take that foot to the floor. I want you to bring your right knee into your chest. Take hold of the front of the knee and draw that knee, breathing into it, closer and closer into your chest. And when you feel with each breath, you've drawn that knee as close as is comfortable for you. Reach away with the left leg. Keep drawing that knee in. Keep reaching away with that left leg and keep breathing into that stretch. Some of us will feel tighter in the groin and around our hips than others. And take a lovely few breaths there. Then take your right arm out to the side and your left arm to the outside of your right knee. And I want you to slowly draw that knee over to the opposite shoulder. That hip on the right side may lift slightly, but we don't want to come over on this left side. Keep drawing over. You're almost got an oppositional force going on there. You're trying to draw the back of the right hip bone towards the mat and draw your knee towards the opposite shoulder. And back, take that foot to the floor. And take the other knee. Oh, I forgot to circle in our ankles, so shame on me. Draw the left knee up to the chest. Some of you probably would have already done it by habit. Keep drawing that knee to the chest, and we can give the left ankle a little bit more love this morning. We can circle around, but only if you want to. I want you actually to concentrate on drawing that knee to your chest. And when you feel you've released or relaxed enough in the hip, reach away with the right leg. May feel a little bit different now you've already stretched out into that groin. Circle in the other way with your ankle and then stop. Take the outside of the left knee with your right hand. Take the left hand out to the side. Draw your knee over to the opposite shoulder, just like on the other side, that oppositional force trying to draw the back of the left hip towards the floor as you try and draw the knee to the right shoulder. And just take a few breaths. Some of us will feel tighter in one side than the other, and some tighter in both hips than others of us. So just all of us take a few moments there to get that stretch into that hip. Few more breaths. Come back onto both hips. Take your foot to the floor. Now, I want you to bring both knees in towards your chest. Take hold of the crease of your knees. If it's comfortable, draw the knees towards you, lift the hips up and rock up to sit in. If that's not comfortable, please, please, please come onto your side and push up. And let's do some little stretches in our upper part of our body in our sitting position. So our legs are a lovely, soft V-shaped position. Draw those abs in, sit lovely and upright in your rib cage. And I want you to breathe in, bring your chin to your chest. On the out breath, allow your head to hang heavy and start rolling down through the spine. Your hands can come into the middle of both legs there if they wish, sides of your little fingers. And you can just reach them in front of you as you start rolling down. But I don't want you to lead with your arms. I want you to lead with your head and starting from the top of your spine down. This first thing this morning may feel a little bit stiff, so don't go too far. Breathe in, draw those abs in and restack in the spine, one vertebra at a time. Don't forget, even if our hands are in the middle here, draw our shoulder blades down our back. Breathe in again, folks, chin to chest, head hangs heavy. Start rolling down. Start with the back first. Start rolling down through your spine. Draw that belly button to your spine as you come down. Start sending your arms out a little bit. And as you come down further down your back, maybe see if you can reach those arms a little bit further down towards your feet. Hold it there for a few breaths. Your hamstrings may start to complain a little bit. Don't force anything. Hold your stretch there. Keep breathing. You may feel it in the lower part of your back and in your hips. Just breathe into it. Draw those abs in, restack one more time. So we're going to go down one more time. I want you to imagine this time you've got your hands in the middle of your feet, legs here. You have a little chocolate or a marble, but a chocolate's my favorite visual. You have a little chocolate on the end of your fingertips. I want you to breathe in, bring your chin to your chest. Your head's hanging heavy. You start to roll down through the neck, down in between the shoulder blades, all the way down through your upper back, down through your thoracic. And as you do, your hands start pushing that chocolate away from you as you keep rolling down bit by bit, reaching the arms forward, this time quite actively. So make sure you've completed the roll down through your spine. Then I want you to start seeing if you can reach those arms further away and really push that chocolate. See if you can push that chocolate away with your fingertips further away than your feet. Hold that stretch. Keep your head low and take a few lovely breaths there. Relax. Make sure your feet are relaxed. Make sure your legs are long and straight, knees soft. A few more breaths. Release. Your hands will already want to start coming in. Draw that belly button into your spine on the in-breath and roll back up to the top. Let's take it on the bias here. I want you to draw the abdominals in and I want you to rotate in the hips so your sternum is in line with the top of your left thigh. It doesn't matter if you've already turned to the right. Hand each side of that left leg. Again, chin to chest, breathe in. Lovely breath out. Take your time. Again, the sides of your hands, just really gentle along the floor as your fingertips reach closer towards your foot and you roll down over that left leg. Keep rolling forward and forward. Breath in, reaching away, breath, breathe, not breath, got an E on the end, and come back up. Sorry, I've done a little run this morning, folks. Can you believe that? It's the first time ever in my life I've run on a Saturday morning, I think. Okay, thought I'd eat the frog and get it over with. I didn't realize March was going to be so long. Look to the front, abs drawn in, rotate to the left, right, hand each side of the leg. Breathe in, chin to chest. Start rolling down over your right leg. And Susan, Diane, while I've both got you on, keep rolling down, keep concentrating. But I haven't spoken to Mary, but I really would love to come over for a long weekend or in the middle of a week if it's a holiday and you're all around and do some fun stuff. So really make it like a retreat at a home retreat and get some Pilates, get some other gals and guys together. So have a think, just have a bit of fun. And I get to see the O'Neill. I get to meet you guys as well if you're around. Roll all the way back up and face forward. You're all like, shoot, we're away for the rest of the year. Draw your shoulder blades together, glide your shoulders down your back. Take your arms out to the side. Breathe in. On the out breath, come up out of your rib cage, up out of your waist. Rotate to your right. Slow rotation. I want you to imagine you're like a corkscrew in your waist as you rotate. And come back to the front. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in, come up out of your waist. And on the out breath, rotate to the left. It's where Mary tells me that she's moved back to Scotland. And rotate. And back to the front. Now we're going to do that one more. I want you to concentrate. I'm going to watch you. I want you to come up out, bring that rib cage up out of your hips on the in breath and on the out breath. Rotate. Keep the arms long. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Keep going. I'm watching you. Lovely. Keep those hips lovely and still. And then back the other way. Keep those shoulders away from your ears, Mary. I know I've stressed you out, but keep those shoulders. That's it. Lovely. And back. Now we'll come back to the front and I think we'll just try and get some double pulses now. So bear in mind, get that first part right. Breathe in and really come up out of the waist. Shoulders come down. On the out breath, rotate to the right. And when you get there, we double pulse. Come all the way to the front. It's sped up a bit. Come up out of the waist to the left. Double pulse. And to the front. Keep going. Double pulse to the right and to the other side. Let's get some momentum each side. Another 2 and 1. Lovely. Arms to the side. Reach up with your left arm. Reach up first. Really get grounded on the right. Breathe in, draw those abs in. Reach up with the arm first and then reach over to the right. Try and keep that left buttock on the floor. It will be lighter on the floor, right, than the right, but try and draw it down, that oppositional force again, and over the other side. Let's go the other side. Reach up with our right arm and then lift over. Get some quality stretches this morning. And one more time over the other side. Reach up first, then come over on that breath. Reach and hold it. Keep reaching those fingertips away. Allow the right hand to really keep you grounded. And over, back up, and over the other side. And back up. Really, really lovely work. Let's bend those knees and release them off. Actually, let's come over onto our knees. Let's get this piece done here because I think it fits better here. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Breathe in, draw the abs in and tuck your tailbone under. And let's arch our spines to the ceiling, one vertebra at a time. When you come to the top, press into the mat, feel the shoulder blades expand, drop your head down to look at your thighs. Really keep reaching up to the ceiling. I want to see some gorgeous angry cats. You get that by really pressing into the floor. Lovely, long, strong arms and really strong abs draw into the spine and tailbone tucked under. Really nice. Now, starting with your tailbone, allow to release through the abs and send your tailbone up to the ceiling. Your abdominals come down to the mat. Draw your shoulder blades down your back and look forward. And breathe. A few breaths there. And find your midway point. We're going to go into some hip hitches here on our hands and knees. If anyone's not comfortable on their knees, just let me know. So I'll come front on so you can see, but you know these moves. I want you to take your left hand. If your head is pointing to 12 o'clock, I want you to take your left hand to 10 o'clock. And then take your right hand over to 11 o'clock. And allow your abdominals to draw in and your tailbone to tuck under from this position. And really try and find a deep, deep arch to the ceiling, a lovely angry cat. And this time I'm hoping as you really press into the floor, I'm certainly getting, you feel a cheeky, cute stretch underneath the right shoulder. And keep pressing away. And then release through the abs, just as we do when we go straight on. Send your tailbone to the ceiling, start arching down towards the floor. Glide your shoulder blades down your back and look to the front. Take a couple of breaths there. Find your midway point, take the hands to the middle, and we go on the other side. Right hand over to 2 o'clock. Left hand over to 1. Breathe in, draw the abs in, tuck the tailbone under. Start arching your spine to the ceiling and come into your angry cat on this right bias. Press into the floor, arms long and quite strong into the mat there or your floor. And really press away. Drop that head down. See if you can get a lovely stretch. Only if you need it, you feel it, but really try and get into that stretch up to your left side. Take the tailbone up the other way. Abdominals come down towards the mat. Shoulder blades glide down your back and you look forward. Lovely couple of breaths there. Find your midway point. Bring your hands back to the middle. Now we're going to go into our hip hitches while we're here. So make sure the crown of your head is reaching away, tailbone the other direction. Abs lovely and strong. I want you to bring your left hip to your right, not to your right ribs. Oh my word. Sorry, folks. I don't think this one's going to make it to YouTube. Bring your left hip bone to the bottom left rib. And as you do, you feel the right side expand. Your head will come around, or allow your head to come around that left hand, and almost try and look at your left foot or left knee or thigh. But all the action is in your waist, with a close in or a hitching of the hip on the left side And a lovely opening on the right. Lovely breath in, keep those abs lovely and strong. Travel back around through your starting position. And if it's comfortable on the same breath, keep that movement. And we bring the right hip bone to the right lowest rib. Head comes around the right arm. Reach your neck around. Look at your right foot. Really feel an expansion between the left hip and the lowest rib on that side, and really feel a drawing between the right hip and lowest rib. And back to your starting position. I'd love you all to do that one more time, selfishly, because I want to have a look at you, but also it's just really good move for hip health. So slow, reach, feel long in the neck, feel long on that right side. Draw your head around and look. Take a breath there, don't rush. And then come back around the other side. Lovely and slow, looking lovely. That's looking really lovely, Yvonne, really nice. Looking good, everyone, doing lovely and well. Good, I'm back to the starting position. From here, walk your hands into your knees. While we're here, you know, I turn to this one a lot, but it is one of my favorites. Let's just do a little release of the flexors. I know this will be Dimphna's favorite, but we all need it. So those hip bones facing forward, your right leg out to the front, both knees at right angles. And I want your shoulders also square on in line with your hips. So draw those shoulder blades together, glide those shoulder blades down your back. Tuck your tailbone under, press those hip bones forward. You can only see me from the waist up there. Lovely. I'm just going to give my screen a little rub because it looks like I'm teaching in the fog. If, again, you want a deeper stretch and your tailbone's tucked under, really bend that front leg, front knee, and press forward. You'll get the stretch in a different part of your quads as well, but that's also just a lovely release out there before we go back into some other work where I don't want your flexors to take over. Couple of breaths in there and back up, and let's swap. So the left leg forward, hips and shoulders square on. And again, don't underestimate tucking that tailbone under. You need your abs to be engaged to do that first, folks. So draw those abs in, tuck the tailbone under, feel a lovely stretch down the front of your right flexors. And let's admit it, most of us are tight there because we sit down a lot. And bend that front knee, press forward. Really lovely. Couple more breaths. Looking good, everyone. Really nice. And then come back up. And let's take our bands. Now, I know I didn't tee that up, but you know, this is a class where we have our bands and blocks at the ready. I did a band class with 29 people on Monday night, and it was such a mess. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to apologize to the class for being so unprofessional, which they took rather well. I said, and the bands were pinging, and I said, I can't look at you all. I said, I'm afraid I'll have a court case on my hand. Come up on your sit bones. Draw your shoulder blades together. Breathe in, draw those abs in, folks. We're going to do a little pelvic tilt, seated. I want it lovely and controlled. Draw those abs in. Come onto your tailbone. Breathe in on the out breath. Come up onto your sit bones. Breathe in, draw those abs in. Tilt again. I want to see gorgeous control. I want to see those abs giving you gorgeous tilts there in your pelvis. And back up on your sit bones. Send your legs long, feet are relaxed. Put your band in one hand. Why do I keep coming off the camera this morning? And walk down your band. Come up over your imaginary beach ball. Draw on that band. Work it with the breath. And enjoy that stretch up the back of the legs and the lower back, and breathe. Few breaths there. Keep drawing on the band. Keep stretching through the back of the legs and the lower back. More breaths. We're going to hold the stretch. If your stretch eases off, draw on the band a little bit more and walk back up your band. Bend your knees. Let's see how those spines are faring as they come down onto the mat. Really try and get each vertebra. We've done a lovely bit of back mobility this morning. So I'm hoping you may feel the benefit of that as we now tuck our tailbones under as we prepped. Draw those abs in. Now you're holding onto your band. Don't be afraid to wrap the band for a tighter control, because I want those shoulders drawing towards the top of your thighs as much as you can. So with the abs, like our angry cat, right? That C shape in our spine, but keep the shoulders away from your ears. I know I'm demanding. Come off your tailbone. Use your band and your abs in synchronicity there and come back. Hips come onto the mat. Breathe in, draw those abs in. Take the whole of the hips on the mat, and bit by bit, lower your spine, one vertebra at a time. I will tell you in transparency, my mid-back came down in a bit of a section there. So that's telling me I need to work on that over the next few weeks, and lie all the way back onto the mat. Breathe in, lift your head up. Draw the head and shoulders off the mat. Draw the shoulders forward. Use those abs, use the band, and roll back up, one vertebra at a time. Send the legs long, sit up, band in one hand. Our last spine stretch of the morning. Come over, well, this position, spine stretch, come over your imaginary beach ball. Draw forward. See if you can come forward a little bit more. Don't force anything. Work with your breath. Couple more breaths there. Draw on the band and release. Lovely, lovely work. We're going to come down to the mat now and then come onto our front and move our back in the other position. So we're still going to come down with control. I'm actually going to watch you. So I want you to draw those abs in, come into that lovely tilt and onto your tailbone. Draw those shoulders forward, keep them away from your ears. Arch, get a lovely C shape in your back and come back one vertebra at a time. Looking really nice. Really visualize every single one of your vertebrae as you put them in. Put them down onto the mat one at a time. Lovely work, everyone. Except Julie Miller texting. I caught you. You can wave. Roll your back on the spine, you minx. Come down one vertebra at a time and take the band from around your feet and come onto your fronts. We're going to keep our bands. We want to get into our shoulders here as well. So bands long across the top. Hold your band about the width of your mat. If you're tight in your shoulders, hold the band a little bit wider than that. But this should be a nice one. And if you've got a looser band, you can have it just the width of your mat as well. Reach those arms away. Walk your legs away so that space between your lowest rib and your hip is really as long as you can get on both sides. Press your hips into the floor, draw your abs into the spine, and breathe in, draw the abs in. On the out breath, I want you to reach those arms away. And when you reach, I don't care if it's a millimeter or a centimeter, or, well, a meter is a bit too weird, but at least reaching up a couple of inches, those arms up off the floor and ahead of you. You can pull on the band if that's more comfortable, but reach those arms away. Breathe in, and on the out breath, lower down. Now, this time, breathe in, abs drawn in, reach away with those arms, the arms lift off the floor. Breathe in, abs drawn in. I want you to reach up now overhead. Draw on that band. You're going to take the band over your head. Feel the shoulder blades draw together, folks. Reach the arms behind you. Your sternum should be lifting off the floor. Your head shouldn't be moving. You shouldn't be lifting your chin. Crown of the head reaching away. Take a lovely couple of breaths there. And on the out breath, I want you to lift the band up, but you peel your sternum down bit by bit and come down with control as the arms come overhead. Now, listen to your body. If the band's pretty stiff and not a lot of give, and you struggled in your shoulders, take the band wider. If you looped your arms over your head like Billy-O, then bring the hands a little bit closer to work into your shoulders. Tailor this move for your needs. Look down into the mat, feet reaching away, hips pressed into the floor. Breathe in, draw your abs and reach away with those arms again. Now you're just reaching away in front of you, okay? So those arms are lifted and reaching away. And I know my face-to-face classes will tell you I draw the band away here so I can really feel your arms drawing out from your shoulder blades. Take a few breaths in there and start lifting up. Now feel as the arms go overhead, lovely and slowly, and with the breath, feel your sternum peeling up, gorgeous and gradually. And then reach the fingertips away as the band comes over towards your buttocks. And if you want here, reach the toes away. So the crown of your head is reaching away in one direction, your toes and tailbone in the other direction. Your feet may even lift. For as long as your legs are long, that's fine. And your shoulder blades are drawn together. And take a few breaths in there. I'm quite confident in this class. You're quite lovely and limbered across the chest muscles. So I'm hoping most of you should feel this lovely and comfortable. Bring the arms up overhead and back down. I want you all to do that one more time on my count. And I'm going to just take a sneak peek to see how your backs are looking. So breathe in, draw the abs in, folks. On the out breath, reach your arms away first. You're just reaching away. If they lift, that's great. Yeah, and if it reaches just by 0.5 centimeter, that's cool too. Reach away. And I want you to just gather your position there. Start making sure your fingertips and your toes are reaching in opposite directions. You're feeling lovely and controlled through your torso, and the abs are keeping your lower back lovely and safe. And then on the next out breath, you start bringing those arms over your shoulders, behind you. Reach those arms away. Fingertips reaching down towards your heels. Shoulder blades drawn together. Gorgeous head positions, everybody. Lovely. Reach those arms away. And again, reach the fingertips and the toes away. And sometimes if you reach your feet so long, you're like standing to attention in this position with the feet and legs almost lifted. Looking really lovely. Well done, everyone. Few breaths there. And slowly bring that band back up over your head and down. I want you to release out in the back there. So let your bands go, hand each side of your shoulder blades and come up, or your shoulders, I should just say, and come into a child's pose. And just take a few lovely little well-deserved breaths there. Release out through the lower back. And we're going to come back onto our fronts. Just take the bands out of the way and back into this prone position. Again, walk those legs away first. It sounds an odd thing to say, but you know what I'm trying to do. Create a gorgeous distance between your lowest ribs and your hips. So you feel as long as you can in that area. And I want you to bring your arms out each side, palms facing down. So I want you to breathe in, and on the out breath, I want you to roll that imaginary marble away with your nose. So the crown of the head's reaching away. And then you start peeling a little bit up in the sternum, but then stay there, keep the hands lovely and firm. Then I want you to reach away with your fingertips. So they reach away like a little aeroplane, lifted off the floor, but no higher than your shoulders. And then I want you to draw the shoulder blades together and those arms will lift. Now, if that feels too much because the lever's long, right? Our arms are long there, so that you're drawing weight up as well, then just bend your arms into that letter E shape. So you're only lifting up from the elbows. Otherwise, I'm just adding on for us all here. Reach away. And now we're going to add on there. I want you keep those abs drawn in. Keep the crown of the head reaching away. I want you to lower the left arm down and the right arm comes up. So we're like a little flying aeroplane. Come back up with control and over to the other side. And one more each side. Keep reaching those arms away, drawing those shoulder blades together. Lower the left hand. Keep the arm lovely and long. So for the hand to reach the floor, you have to tilt onto the one side and the other arm comes up. The hips stay in contact with the mat. It's all in the upper torso. And lift and lower back down. Lovely. Send those arms out in front, out of the corners of your mat, and the legs out of the corner at the bottom of your mat. So you're looking in that imaginary mirror in your mat. We're going to just do a few little swimming here for that lovely strength into our backs and for gorgeous elongation. So release, relax through the shoulders, take a breath in, draw those abs in, and I want you to reach away with your right arm and left leg at the same time. So the distance between your big toe and your middle finger is the longest you can make it. And you can reach away so long, you find your leg and arm will lift and keep reaching and lowering. Left arm, right leg, reach away. And then they lift, allow that lift. Stay strong through the torso, certainly through the abs, and lower. Keep going each side and reach away. Some of you may feel it comfortable with your arms and legs slightly wider. Play with that and reach and lower. Reach away. Keep those hips in contact with the mat and lovely and level at all times. Keep the abs drawn in. Do 4 more. Lovely swim in there. Reach and lower. And reach away. And lower. Lovely. Really nice. Try not to bend those knees. Reach those arms and legs away. They lift and they lower. And when you've done your extra 4 there, hands each side of your shoulders, press up and come into child's pose, release out through your lower back. And trying, I don't know if it's very obvious to you, I'm trying for us to do a little bit more and a little bit more on our fronts. So we're comfortable with our back extensions and start doing a bit more work into not just back mobility, but also into back strength. Let's come over onto our backs, talking of which. Time is not our friend again this morning. So let's go back into some spine mobility in this position. So your feet, you've got the drill, your feet and hips are hip width apart, feet lovely and light on the floor. You can feel your big toe on the floor, arms by your side, palms down. I want you to breathe in, roll the marble down into your flat back position. Breathe in, engage your buttocks and your abs. Start lifting your tailbone. Lots of lovely tilts this morning. Lift the tailbone up off the mat. So you're in, again, a lovely pelvic tilt. Then start lifting the hips and then start peeling up 1 vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to the top, feeling that lovely, glorious mobility. Watch your knees don't come in or flare out. So keep them lovely and stable. Take a few breaths in there and roll down bit by bit through each vertebra, bringing 1 down at a time. And come back into your starting position. Let's go 1 more time. Breathe in into flat back. Now this time I want you to come up, and so just your hips only have come up. And then come up a little bit more so your hips are lifted and your waist has lifted off the floor, and really see if you can tilt your pelvis even more there. And now I want you to imagine your skateboard, or your skateboard, that skateboard you've all brought to your Pilates class, your hips are on an imaginary skateboard. And then we just want you to release those hips out, relax them on that imaginary skateboard, and just lift, sway your hips from side to side on that skateboard. Try and keep the knee to the ankle as still as you can, and really use your abs. I think I've peaked Linda this morning in some of the rubbish I've uttered. I thought I started this block quite professional. I've gone downhill really fast. Just made myself giggle. I'm sorry. It's embarrassment, by the way. Not that I find myself funny. Just go from side to side. Lovely. And come back to the middle. Lower down through the lumbar, through your lower back, and come back down. Hips in contact with the floor, and come back into neutral spine. We're going to go all the way back up, folks. Breathe in, draw the abs in, flat back. Lift your tailbone. Start coming all the way up. Come up in your own breath, in your own time, conscious of how your spine is. Is it coming up in sections? Is it enjoying? Are you able to separate every single vertebra? Come up, and you have your shoulders still on the mat. Now, this time when we come down, we're going to do this little sort of S or zigzaggy shape. It's very gentle, very smooth. You land on one side of your vertebra, and then you come down, land on the other. You may want to do a gentlest of sways in the hips so you can really land on one side and then the other, really getting into the muscles around your spine. As you come down, draw those abs in, see if you can lower down on through the lumbar, straighten up when your hips come in contact with the floor and into neutral spine. Take your arms out to the side. Take your feet out just to the inside width of your mat. Breathe in on the out breath. Drop your knees over to the right. Turn your head to the left. Allow those knees to get closer to the mat with each breath, but keep your shoulders, your arms, and your hands in contact with the floor. Just breathe. Allow those knees to get closer. Draw the abs in. Bring your knees up. Take them over to your left. Turn your head to the right. Few breaths there. Again, body-mind connection to your knees. Imagine your knees are feeling heavier and heavier and are gradually drawing closer and closer to the floor. So you have a little give there in your hips. Bring your knees up. This time, we are going to bring the knees and feet together. I want you to take the right leg over the left. Drop your knees over to the right and turn your head over to the left. And again, keep your shoulders and arms on the floor and allow those knees to get closer and closer to the right. Now, I particularly find this quite a deep stretch in my hips. So see how you feel. Just go easy with that top leg on that knee and breathe into it. Should feel quite nice, certainly if you need it. Bring the knees up and cross. Left leg over the right. Drop the knees over to your left. Turn your head to look to your right hand. And take a few breaths there. And knees up. And we're going to finish with one of our classic hip rolls. Our feet and knees hip width apart. Back of our hips, back of our shoulders in contact with the mat. Drop the knees over to the right and your head over to the left. And I want you to take a moment here to see where your knees are and how you feel and how mobile you've become in your spine and in your spine rotation, because I'm sure most of you will be feeling this stretch quite comfortable to when you first started it, whenever that was. Breathe in, knees up, use those abs over to the left, turn your head to look to the right. And knees back up. Now you've got a few choices on how you come up here. You can bring the band around your feet and do a sit up and come up slowly. You can bring your knees into your spine, pop your hands on the inside of the knees and you rock up, or come over onto your side and push up gently. You pick whichever one. Let's check where we are on time. It's not looking good. So let's close. Loads more I'd love to do, but I do want to just do a little bit more shoulder mobility. So you can cross your legs or bring your soles of your feet together, interlace your hands, press away, really feel the shoulder blades expand, and then take the bands, take your hands to the ceiling. I'm sorry, I've had caffeine as well. Maybe that's been the problem. Reach the palms to the ceiling and circle around. Relax through the shoulders, get some lovely circles as you polish the underside of your halo and back around the other way. England play Ireland, I think, today, isn't it? Or tomorrow, this weekend. May the best team win on that one. I've got to be careful. Lovely. Bring the arms by your side. Abs strong. Sit up lovely on those sit bones. palms to the ceiling. Let's finish with some gorgeous breaths. Let's make this count. Breathe in through the nose and into the pits of the abdominals and reach up. And breathe out through the mouth and reach down. And breathe in, reach up and up. Breathe in and breathe out. Last breath. Take a gorgeous, not your last breath ever, don't get me wrong, it's not that type of class. Breathe into the pits of the abdominals, palms together, come down. Breathe out, elbows out. Take the thumbs to your chest. Breathe into your sternum, into your rib cage. Breathe out through the mouth. Keep those shoulders gliding down your backs, folks. Sit lovely and upright on the sternum, on your sit bones. And take another lovely breath into the rib cage and out through your mouth. Find your own natural breathing pattern. Reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Feel the tailbone reach into the floor. Lovely work this morning. I hope you feel a lot better than when you joined at least. And thank you so much. Well done, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.